All right. Welcome to the Cryptocosm. Thank you for clicking on the play button. Today I got a special guest. His name is Arvin Khamseh. Did I say that right?
Yeah,
All right, cool. And he's been on a couple of podcasts, a couple of shows talking about NFTs. I mean, he's been on the Nifty Show, aka the Bad Crypto Podcast. He's been on the New to Crypto. He's been on the Crypto Gaming Institute, and he has helped quite several brands. And if you're familiar in the NFT space, you might have heard these brands like Metal Legends, Women of Crypto, Frogos, and I'm sure there's many more coming up. And plus, too, he's also a top freelancer in the NFT marketing space. So, anyways, I will quit yapping. Um, Arvin, welcome to the Cryptocosm. Hope you're doing well.
thank you so much for having me.
Anyways, before we dive in, could you kind of give us your origin story, like how you got into crypto, and then also your origin story into the NFT space?
100%. Yeah. So back in 2016, good friend of mine, Nick, he actually invested everything he had into bitcoins. Literally, he sold his car, and this guy he had a 9 to 5 job, but he just was so convinced that Bitcoin was the way to go. And he would he would come out with us like to bars or restaurant. He would just save his money all into Bitcoins, literally everything Bitcoins. And then I didn't make much out of it, but I was very conscious of like how insane that was. And then a few years later, I gave him a call and I'm like, "Hey Nick, how was work?" And he goes, "What work?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, he's no longer working. He's just completely retired, just traveling around the world, just enjoying his life." And so that was my intro to crypto, where I was like, okay, this is a very serious thing. Like, I know people talking about different things about it, but this is very serious. And then I want to say a few years later, back in beginning of 2021, I want to say January 2021. I learned about NFTs and I was like, okay, this is really cool. I was actually working with someone from Vayner's Media on a project, and then this guy told me about NFTs, and he actually is he goes to Dubai and comes back all the time. But like he told me about NFTs, and I was like, this is really cool. And the moment I read about it, I thought, this is the next thing. This is what Nick would do. And then,
Wow.
so my friend Nick, right? And so then I was just like, okay, like just went all in. And I started like trading. I didn't even know what NFTs are, but I started trading. And then, my sister, also, she would just like sit on people's discords, and she would give me like a summary of like what's happening with different NFTs. And then I would just buy. So she was like practically my portfolio manager. And then we
Nice.
would buy NFTs for like $500, sell it for like 10K. It was awesome. And then fast forward, about like October 2021, I met this guy, this artist from Italy. And so basically he's like he calls himself like father of some sort of art. I can't remember right now, but he had bunch of digital artwork, not many, not a typical 10,000 collection. He had actually 10, and then he wanted to sell it, and we just drove Twitter ads to OpenSea, which you would never be able to do ever again. But that at that time there was no regulation, and then we sold out. We sold out his entire collection. And then to me, just because I had experience in investor relationship marketing with public companies, to me that alone was a proof of concept where I was like, okay, I can definitely add a ton of value to this community, because I know how to find investors online. And here, look, I just sold out a collection with just ads. And I opened up, like I literally just like announced to people around me. I said, hey, like this is what I'm currently gonna offer. I want to say back in November. And in first month, I worked with about 110 NFT projects, and then so on and so forth.
Wow.
since then it's been somewhere around, let's say, 400-ish.
Wow. Okay, man. Wow. That is a lot of work within a short period of time.
Span of
You
time.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because see, because when I think of like artwork and stuff, like I'm thinking like like a couple of decades or something. But I know it's kind of hard to imagine because you got the old artwork space, but then like the way NFTs is coming in, I mean, like things are just moving so fast. So, but yeah, I mean, okay, out of the 400 NFT projects you've worked with, which ones? Give me like the top three or top four, which were kind of like memorable to you, and also I guess in terms of like creativity and also in terms of success.
Yeah,
to give us
100%.
a
And just give you
picture.
context, like give your audience some context. So, obviously NFT community, it just evolves really fast. So like few months in NFT is like few years,
Yeah.
outside NFTs. But also like the other thing for me, was I was just like in the back of my mind, I was like, when this thing happened with my friend Nick, I was like, never ever again, I'm gonna let that opportunity pass. So,
Right.
so this time when it came about, like I was like, no, I'm gonna go all in. So I would say above average, was invested in the whole NFT game. But as far as the projects I remember, so Frogos, we sold out in 7 minutes. A Woman of Crypto, we sold out about an hour, I believe. And then what else? San Vegas Casino Club. So those are some projects that recently sold out.
Okay, no, because I'm still blown away. Emails from a lot of people too. Like in 1 hour, the Froggers was 7 minutes. Like, I mean, those are like it's just like mind blowing numbers. Like it's just
Yeah.
crazy. So of course, I know as as a regular Joe. Oh, sorry, my cat is over here. My bad. Like when a regular person thinks, I mean, they think NFTs is just like so, oh, that's easy money, it's fast and stuff. But I mean, I'm sure there is behind the scene. There's a lot of groundwork has to take place. So I mean, just for the record, like just to tell it, like I mean, just, like educate us, like, hey, this is not an easy game. There's a lot of method, behind the madness, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I've never seen it. So I've been in marketing almost a decade. I worked with public companies, Fortune 500 companies. I marketed to, large companies like KPMG, like all sorts of like mid-market above you can think of. Also like
Sure, yeah.
government organizations, like including FBI and like all sorts of different organizations. But then when I came across how NFTs sell out and in a month they make like a few $1 million, it's just the strangest thing. Like I still to this date, I find it fascinating that like someone comes in, zero experience in internet marketing, and then they make that much money. And so that's not to say everyone's going to do it. Like I think Gary Vee talks about he's like 99% of the brands fail. And I don't know if that's the case, but I'm sure a lot of people don't take it seriously. And that's actually to go off that, like some people ask me, they're like, you're working with all these projects, how come you're not doing your own project? And I want to, but I can't possibly do it as a side hustle. Like I can't just be, marketing lots of different projects and then as a side thing be like, hey, I'm gonna do an NFT sellout as well. And so
Gotcha.
NFT sellout is like your full-time thing. Everything else is secondary at that point. So it's not something you can do, be like, because I see people like that. They're like, well, I'm an artist, I do this thing and that thing, but I'm also just going to drop some NFTs. That's not how it works. Like you can't
Gotcha.
do that. Like that's just too much. Like, you're going to spend 1 month just on its entirety on the NFTs, like nothing else. Like everything else is just like on hold. Everything in your social life, everything in your, I don't know, personal life, everything is on hold. Just the NFT collection. Like that's it. So that's the extent of it. And now I say like about a month. Most projects, that's what it takes. There are some projects, they've spent more time, 2 months, 3 months. And really depends on like the time is really depend on your resources. So like that the projects that they're taking like 2-3 months, it's typically like the artist maybe taking time to just do the work, or maybe the smart contract, or maybe they're just looking for like good people to do different things. So it's not really like the actual thing takes 3 months ever. It's always somewhere around 4 to 6 weeks, always. But if it takes more, it's just because they don't have resources. So their team is like lacking in something.
Oh, okay. Now, when you mean like, resources, because I'm just imagining, I mean, my living knowledge of NFTs, like, because I see a lot of NFT stuff is happening like on Discord. I think it's much more easier
Yeah.
to like, get the community and stuff. I guess you gotta hire a team of community managers.
Yes.
Do you need to have like more artists to help with the artwork and stuff? Like, I mean, like what's the I guess the structure of an NFT project? Like, I know it
Yeah.
looks like a
So
company, right? So,
it is. And then actually, so that's actually a good point, because I've said this on some other show as well. Like, I think biggest thing that's missing is business acumen in the NFT world. Like, people who come in, they have zero experience in business and its operation. So they do really weird things, which like I wasn't used to, because like in the past I was always working with companies. They're very sensible in their decisions, versus like what I would see, like for example, there was this brand, literally the day before their mint date, they decided to move to like some new place. I'm like, why would you do that like literally the day before? Like, you could have done this any other time. Like, why? Just like wait one more week.
That's a hard timing is bad. Oh gosh.
Yeah, and so then they paused everything, they paused marketing, and they're like, no, we'll just like right now we're focused on the move. I'm like, you can't be serious. Like, literally, you just did all this work, and then a few days before your mint, you just paused everything for your move. So like, to me, it just like, I mean, I was going on a rant. Like, I could not. I was just like, this is insane. How are you guys not seeing this? But to be fair, it's just because there's no business experience. Like, to that person, it seems like, well, we've done a lot of work. Now we're tired, and also like we need to rest. And then we also have a move coming up, so we need to move. Right, so this is how like the mindset, right? Which is so there's a huge gap between the treating it as a business. Like, a business person would just be like, no way, like I'm gonna stay up, like you don't need to move, like we can just like move later, like. So that's the thing. That's how different it is between a business person coming and doing this versus not. But so to your question though, like, so typically an artist, hopefully the artist is great, right? With what they're producing, and then a developer. What you need a website. Sometimes the same person does also the smart contract, and then you need the marketing person. So those are your core elements of the team, and then marketing person typically, marketing person, you typically need two. At least when people work with me, because I typically take a role of either advisor or chief marketing officer. And then I still need someone else in their team who is a community manager, meaning someone who's like posting on Instagram, on Twitter, on Discord, so on and so forth.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. All right. Okay. So, all right. So like a trinity. You got like the artist, you got the developer who's handling all the technical side, you got the marketing person, and below that marketing person, I guess you need like a community manager and maybe a social manager. I guess. I mean, depending the
typically
scope
that's
of
the same person. Community manager typically the same person. In fact, I like it when a same person manages Discord and Twitter, just because they just know what's going on, right? Versus like now they have to
Okay.
talk and then communicate with each other what's happening.
All right. Okay. So, okay, the marketing side is good. Now with the developer side, now I'm assuming all the NFTs they're all on Ethereum, or are they also on other blockchains as well? Like, um,
Yeah, I would say
well,
out of 400 NFT projects I worked with, I would say 90% of them on Ethereum blockchain.
okay.
Let's say 9% on Solana, and then that
Oh,
1% is
okay.
like other things like XRP,
Okay.
Polygon, different things.
Oh wait, XRP like
Yeah,
Ripple?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. That's okay. Sorry, sorry. Okay, that kind of surprised me because to me it's like like in our space we call it like a like a banker's coin, because Ripple is
yeah,
all a bunch of bankers for
yeah,
banksters.
yeah.
So that's interesting. Okay, wow. Okay, that. All right. Anyways, so mostly Ethereum, but why is there like a particular reason
Yeah.
why it's on Ethereum? Like,
The reason is OpenSea is what people know. And then OpenSea is on Ethereum blockchain. So a lot
okay,
of people who get introduced to NFTs, they first learn about Ethereum blockchain. So then
all
they don't
right.
have any other reference to go actually do other things. But it's also for that reason, it's kind of like a cycle. For that very reason, it's better to be on Ethereum as well, or at least Solana.
True.
Other than that, like outside Ethereum and Solana is kind of hard, because now your audience needs to be educated on the blockchain as well. Versus Ethereum
Right,
and
right.
Solana blockchain already is done a good job of advertising themselves, and so most people know about it. And I would even say
Hmm.
Ethereum more so than Solana. But then what I like about Solana is the community is very tight. So
Gotcha.
anything that you do in that community, everyone's interested in like growing the Solana community. So all the influencers, they're just easier on the brands because they just want like they're like have that self interest in growing the community.
Okay, I can definitely agree with you with Solana because just like 2 weeks ago, the Solana, I guess the main team, they came to Dubai for a Hacker House event. So
Oh,
when
cool.
you're talking about how tight they are, and also in terms of educating educating other developers, to join in, and educating also the regular people too. I think they're doing a much better job compared to, I guess, Ethereum. I think Ethereum is kind of like has become sort of like the current standard at the moment, but I think Solana is kind of catching up. So I think the marketing is good, but it's interesting you pointed out like educating the masses. I mean, it does take a lot of energy to educate people because, like, for me, like, I'm in the exchange, like, working with FMFW, trying to educate people about Bitcoin over here. That itself is such a big learning curve for a lot of people. So yeah, I think what you just said right there makes a lot of sense. So, anyways, so we covered the structure part. Now, I you know, kind of want your expertise, like, say we have, I mean, there are some upcoming artists that's trying to want to get into NFTs now. If that person is coming to you, what would be your what would be your 50, say you have to spending 15 minutes with them, your time is short and all that stuff. So hey, okay, this is what I'm going to advise you. So what would be your pitch to them or your advice?
My yeah. So my advice, first of all, I mean, I have created a lot of resources of what not to do, whether it be it on shows and different things. So I really want them to like go see because a lot of times like artists also like I was on a podcast with that's just for artists, and they agreed that they don't have a ton of like business experience or business um, knowledge, and rightfully so. Like they're focused on their art, and so in fact, like I've had experience with artists where I've just like found someone who I'm like, hey, you're great at like drawing this thing. Can you draw me something? And I buy it from you. And it took her 5 days to just like keep saying like, no, you don't have to, like, you don't have to pay me, or like, okay, maybe you just pay me this much. And it's like, but I don't know, like, and it's just like so hard, right? So it's just, they're so close to their artwork and they don't have the experience. Sometimes like I advise them, like, have other people who have the experience in business, because sometimes they're too close to their art, and I 100% get it. Like, I have my program, I have, you know, anything people say about that, you know, it just feels like, okay, it's my personal thing, right? So it's just like, I don't know, it's just like their baby, right? Sure. They don't want to be in a conversation where like the value of that is being evaluated, like the value of their work, right? And sometimes they already value it like really low. So if someone else comes in and just like negotiates with them, it just doesn't feel good for them. And so for that reason, I like artists to definitely have a team, not just do it themselves. Unless they're really good with, you know, what they're selling and just like communicating and advertising themselves, then fair enough. But it's still, I prefer like people come in with a team. Now, by the way, OpenSea, lately they just announced that they're going to invest in NFT projects. So a lot of times I see people coming to me and they're like, well, we don't have that much budget as, let's say, Woman of Crypto or San Vegas Casino Club and so on and so forth, right? So some of these, like, just people get a sense. Typically they spend, let's say, 30K on influencers and about, I want to say, 10, 15K on paid advertising, right? So not everyone has that budget. And for people who don't, so this is where things go wrong. They start doing weird things. They start just being like, well, let's just see how it goes without having a budget. It's like, no, let's not do that. Or like, let's still do a 10,000 collection size, even though we don't have a budget for it. It's like, no, let's not do that neither. Instead, like, I think if, for example, on OpenSea, there are applications for like getting OpenSea invest in your project, or just reach out to investors so they can actually invest in your project. And there are plenty of investors out there. Just like the artists, they're hearing about NFTs everywhere they go. But they're not an artist. They don't have any artwork. So they're just wondering like when on earth they can get into this field as well. And you could be like, you as an artist, you could be that person and be like, hey, I've got this really cool art. You've got a lot of money. Like, we can make a lot more money together, right? That's basically how it goes. Sure. And so just having obviously the marketing budget and just literally taking this seriously. So to that, I would also say, typically NFT projects make at least $1 million on their mint day. So to say that like, hey, I have $3,000 and then in the next 4 weeks I want to make $1 million, that makes no sense. So and if that was the case, then everyone would quit their job right away and everyone would be doing that. So like, I think it's sensible to think about things like that, right? And we're laughing at this, but I get this all the time. Like, there are people coming to me and they're like, can we do something? Yeah. Like, I've got only $5,000, but I want to make like $3 million. And so just also just like talking about like the exact like marketing side of things. So you want 30%, typically you want 30% of your revenue to go into marketing. So even if you say $1 million, that would be 300K. Now it turns out NFTs is still new. So even with like 60K, you can close it, right? So you can actually accomplish what you need to accomplish. But it like when I was saying like the business acumen is missing, is that, right? People have really weird expectations, wanting to do things without even like putting anything, up front. So to the high level of it is have a team, have a budget, and then take marketing seriously, right? And then just have a plan of attack. Now, the plan of attack is also not something like, well, let's just advertise and then see what happens. It's not like you just put your name on a billboard and then like everyone's just going to rush in to buy your NFTs. So every minute there's going to be a new NFT project that's just coming into the NFT world. Exactly. And so to think like by you just announcing to the world, like, I have an NFT project, and that's enough. Like, that's not. And so what they need to do, like, I advise them on, okay, how do you actually structure this plan of attack for the next 4 to 6 weeks? So for example, how many Discord members you need to gain every week? How many Twitter members you need to gain every week? What influencers to use? When to use it? When do you use your budget? Do you use all of it at the front, or do you use like half of it in the middle? Like, what do you do? Like, what do you do at the end? Like I was telling you, like, that's this person, this project, they, like, few days before, they completely shut off all their ads. And I was just like going insane. Like, I was like, I cannot believe this. You worked so hard, and then you just like ruining completely. So, so what do you do on those days, right? And actually, more of it like a mindset side of things, I actually like people who don't have experience in business to either read on business or just have someone as an advisor, and then really trust them to be like their, you know, their right hand. Because I've seen many times people make really weird decisions, like right before their, literally like few days right before their mint day. Like, they start doing things that completely sabotages everything. And it's partly because they've never been in an experience of, it's just like a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Like, you've spent a lot of money. And imagine like the average person never spend like 60K on advertising in their life in 1 month. Right?
Oh yeah.
And so when they do it, it's just a lot of pressure. They're like, okay, like, am I going to get this back? Or like, is this just completely wasted? Am I going to be completely like embarrassed in front of my friends, family, all these people who are supporting me? Am I going to let the community down?
That's real.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of pressure. And then, so I don't blame them to like make weird decisions, right? But they need to be prepared for that. They need to know that this is going to happen. Like, there's a few days before, especially a few days before the mint date, there are going to be thoughts, I think, in their mind. There's just like, do these weird things, and they just need to be prepared. So like, have someone to just talk it out with, and then they get through it.
It's interesting. No, but thank you for bringing up the mindset side, because whether it comes to business or marketing, I mean, like, because, you know, a lot of people really don't know how to contain that money, or even also when they're, you know, getting the revenues and stuff. Like, sometimes, like, you know, they kind of mess things up too. And I, you know, for me, learning about NFTs, because I know it's kind of like, you know, kind of dumb for me saying this, but, you know, I was thinking, oh, it's such a, you know, like a, you know, like a small scale project with such a high profit margin, but there's a lot, I mean, there's a lot going on. So, hey, thank you for educating me on that. I really do appreciate that. It kind of opened my eyes, you know. So, I guess the reason I was thinking that way is out of ignorance, but also seeing, for example, like NFTs, like, you know, that paper rock thing, or, you know, some other, like, in this 8-bit picture of a character and stuff. I'm just like, wait a minute, like, you know, like, only maybe like later on I saw some really great artwork. Like, there's this artist over here in Dubai. His name is Vesa, Vesa. He's like this fiendish guy or whatever. So he does all this high-end digital stuff. So, but other than what I'm seeing, like, in the marketplace, you know, it looks kind of easy. It looks kind of like, just like there's something small project work out. But, you know, I haven't realized, like, there's a lot of marketing going behind the scene, but also I guess in your work, other than the marketing side, do you also try to like coach some of the founders, some of the artists, like in terms of mindset, what to prepare for? Do you do that quite a lot in your line of work?
I mean, a lot actually, because like I said, that's so marketing. I'm not saying it's easy, but there are things that has worked. So if we just do those, it will work. But the mindset is executing on that plan. Like, it's really strange. Like, small businesses feel the same way. Like, public companies, Fortune 500 companies, they never have these problems. They completely like reasonable with like all their decisions. I mean, they make weird decisions too, but like it's completely in a different level. But small businesses and also like people in the NFT wherein they don't have a lot of experience in business, and especially advertising. So the concept is like, And also, like, I think social media does a horrible job. Like, for example, even like shows that I go on, it's just, I sometimes hate it. Like, they make it so that, like, oh yeah, everyone can do this, and like, just because then the listeners would like it, and then also, people like on social media, I know like friends, people in my community, like I know a lot of influencers. We just talk a lot, and then they go and say like, oh, I barely even like marketed this, and then look, I've made like $3 million. It's like, yes, but you've been doing this for like 25 years. That's why you didn't market this, because you've been marketing for 24 years, and then this year you didn't market anything. But like people don't know that, right? And so those are a lot of that, like on social media. It's just it's not helping. It's not helping people. So what I do is obviously talking with people and just like showing them. But I found the best thing that works for founders is to be in a group with other founders. So in my program, we have group calls, and all these founders, they come on a call and talk with each other. That I found it works way better than me telling someone what to do, because I just present them as a suggestion. Be like, hey, here are certain things I've done for projects that has worked, and then they do their own stuff, right? And then they do some of it. They don't listen to some of my stuff. Like they go buy bots all of a sudden. I tell them always not to do that, but they all of a sudden they just go do it. And then they see they have to now remove it. They have to pay someone to literally remove those bots one by one. And then do they experience that for themselves? To learn it, right? So sometimes people need to like learn things that way. But then the best thing is that person comes on a call and tells everyone else, be like, hey, I didn't listen. I got those bots. And then now my engagement went down. And then everyone's like, okay, we're not going to do it. Right. So like it's just a community thing. Right. So it helps founders to just be around other people, and just like it's just like a sandbox. Like they try things on their own sometimes. And then if it doesn't work, when they tell other founders, and there's someone who's like leading it for them, it actually really helps them to just organize their thoughts and just be like, okay, next time I'm not going to do it, or next time I'm going to make better decisions. So I find that to be best thing for their mindset. As far as the strategies, there's certain things I brought in from, years of advertising that just works. Like, find out who you're marketing to, who's the avatar, like find out where they're at, and like, what are they like, what do they look like? What's their demographic? What car do they drive? What's their income? Which countries they're from? All sorts of things. So once you figure that out, then find out like what problems they have, and or how is your NFT solving their problem. Which brings me to the next thing is like, okay, NFT is not just like a PFP artwork. That time has passed. Unless you're like Picasso, you need to have better things than just your art, right? Because it just doesn't work that way anymore. You have to have a message. It could just be as simple as just messaging or the story behind your art, but it has to be something. Like you can't just show your art and expect people to just completely just be, invested in a JPEG and just pay you like $100,000 for that. So then, so what are utilities you have? And then once you figure that out, and you can also, what I like about that too, like again, when it comes to utility, I see founders, they just go copy paste things from other projects. Again, it's that they don't have the business experience to understand these things, where it's like, wait, did you know like other people will understand that? Like that you just copy paste it? It's not like, people are not stupid. Like, and so, or they like, so like it's not lazy, but it's like, they're not completely invested. So they just put like one line. Like I've seen so many times, like in utility, it's like, we're going to build a new metaverse. It's like, that's it. And that's like one of the utilities in like, Wow. And I'm like, what do you expect people to get out of this? Like, you think someone would just come and be like, oh, of course you're going to do this. That's perfect. Okay. Here's my money. Here, give me your artwork. I'm going to be your best supporter. It's like, that's not how it works. Like, you gotta actually like elaborate. Okay, how are you gonna do it? San Vegas Casino Club, for example, the day before they were gonna sell out, I called my sister and I was like, hey, you should buy a bunch of San Vegas Casino Club. I know we're gonna sell out, right? Obviously, like insider information, right? And then like best alphas ever. And so and she's like, yeah, I get it, but where is their casino? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, they're talking about all these things, like they're gonna give, let's say, 50% of the profit of casino to all their holders, but where is the casino? Like they don't have a casino. And I'm like, that's true. So like on the day of the public sale, they put an offer on Sandbox. So I believe it was like a 3x3 Sandbox place. So then people realize, they're like, these guys are serious. Now they're gonna have a place for this casino, right? So it's really different to say, we're gonna do this casino thing versus like, here, we just put an offer on OpenSea. You guys can go see it. Like, this is our name, this is our wallet. Go see our offer. We're gonna buy this place right away. Like today is our like mint date, and we already like put that offer. And that brings trust to the community. Just say, hey, like they're not just talking about, like, talk is cheap. They're not talking about, hey, we're gonna do all these things and then you just pay us and buy our NFTs. No. We're actually like committed, so committed that we just put an offer. I believe it was actually for 100 ETH to buy a place in Sandbox. Now they have places in like Sandbox, Decentraland, so on and so forth. Right. But back then, it was a lot of people would just be like, just like my sister would be like, well, where is it, right? And so so I encourage a lot of founders to just say, hey, like go on different AMAs, like ask me anything. Elaborate on how you're gonna actually do these things that you're promising people. Either don't promise them or just like really like clear, planned out things. And I understand it where like as a founder, if you've never produced any product, or it just takes a lot of patience, takes a lot of determination, takes a lot of like investment emotionally to just say, yes, I'm making a promise and I'm committed to actually execute on that promise. The flip side of that is like, it's just like, I'm just gonna say whatever, just copy paste something, and then I want people to believe in me more than I believe in myself or my project. And that's like the common thing. It's like they bring it to the marketer too. Right. They're like, hey, like their community manager, marketers, influencers, we all get this offer like on a daily basis. It's like, hey, can we just like pay you after we sell out? I'm like, you literally like believe it like less, like you want me to believe in your project more so than you believe yourself in your project. You know what I mean? That like you're not willing to find an investor. You're just like, I'm so afraid that this may not work out, that I just want to make sure everything is guaranteed. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, this is great stuff. No, because I think what you shared earlier, talking about the utility, because like in my space, because I work in the exchange, so my goal is to get project listed in the exchange. So, I have to look at legal opinions, white papers and stuff. So obviously in the white papers, like you got to explain what's your utility and why it matters. Yes. The legal opinion shows, it's not a shit coin or whatever. It meets certain criteria. So it is fascinating, like to see in the NFT space, like, okay, what this NFT is going to bring in and stuff. And it's good. I mean, like, and I think what you just projected too, like, it's also an insight for me, like, not many people are like, what do you say, just blind or trying to FOMO or go like ape crazy into a project, They are asking really good questions like, hey, wait, what's the utility behind it? Does it make sense? So, anyways, speaking on that, like, because I'm here in Dubai, and, I meet all kinds of people who are talking about NFT this, NFT that, and, for me, I'm sort of skeptical, you know what I mean? So, like, and I know you come across all kinds of people, so could you give us some red flags, like, to look out for, and help me out. So I don't want to, like, get caught up with my emotions. Oh, this sounds fantastic. Oh, I'm gonna throw in some money. So help a brother out, man.
there's a brand. I will announce it later, but like we're gonna do a Twitter space. Their focus is actually finding out if brands are legit or not. That's the only focus this brand has. And then we're actually working, like talking about like teaming up, because I've been asked that a lot. So I have a relationship as an agency with Twitter, Quora, and Reddit, and also Meta. So all the platforms. Now, okay. So Meta meaning Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
So typically, so it's my relationship on the line with these companies, right? And I have to vouch for. So you were talking about the politics and legality of things. I have to vouch for brands to be able to run NFT ads on all these platforms. So you can't just go on Twitter and run NFT ads. You need someone like myself to actually vouch for you to be able to run NFT ads. So it's actual NFT approval that you need. And so my relationship is on the line. So a lot of times I get afraid. Like I'm like, if I just talk about it, like this project has like 0 followers, they don't even bother to read what I write to them. And then they want me to like approve them on NFTs, like for NFT ads, right? So I get so afraid. I'm like, this is a terrible idea. So sometimes I don't. I just be like, hey, no thanks. I'm not your best guy, right? And then, so there's that. The other side of it is like, obviously sometimes I actually see things where I'm like, this brand is going to be a rug pull. Like I can see like what they're doing. And so obviously like I don't engage with them. Another one is like, there's some brands, this is hilarious. Like, and we're going to talk about this on this Twitter space. There's some brands literally used my name on their like decks and, on their like, even on their Discord, on their YouTube. And they're like, yeah, we're working with this guy. And he's done all these like successful projects. And I don't even know them. I absolutely have 0 knowledge. So I stumbled upon one of these. And then under the YouTube, I was just gonna write, hopefully one day we actually get to talk for once, and like, cause we've never even spoken, like you've never worked together at all. And so I say that because now this is another topic we're actually gonna talk on this Twitter space, because I think you actually gotta do verified things, right? And like for example, yesterday I had someone who wanted to take my program, and he's like, so it wasn't from my Twitter. They approached me and they're like, how do I make sure it's you? And I'm like, I know it's like sounds strange, but it could be someone else. Like there's like literally been this guy, he's just been going around pretending to be me. And this is not happening just with me. So many influencers. We've gotten scammed ourselves, just paying an influencer or an account that looks like an influencer, but it's not actually the influencer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so you have to like verify things on a new level now, like where like they say like, can we just get on a call for 2 minutes? Like, see you, make sure it's you. Or like, can you message us from your other account? That's what I typically do. Like I message them from another account, and then so they know. So that's all to say, you gotta do that due diligence to make sure that so as an investor, you got to make sure that they actually like their team is actually a team. It's not like they just like pulled a bunch of names into a website and they say it's their team, because it may not be. And then so that's really important, and people don't think about that a lot. I mean, I wasn't thinking about it until like recently, where I was like, wait, like who's this team? I've never even met them. And then and then the other one is like, okay, they're the white paper and like how they're describing things. When you see like people make like a lot of promises, like they're like, we're gonna give away Tesla, Lamborghini, we buy you, like we give you a massage every day, like all sorts of things. It's like, okay, already it's like, hey, there's something wrong about this, like, and they've never done anything in their life, like in the business world. It's like, maybe true, but maybe not, right? So let's just investigate it. And then when it comes to actually like finally like engaging with a project, obviously make sure like one of the things like I help a lot of projects right now is like make sure they're like verified on all social media platforms, because that you can only just get verified once, right? So only one account can get verified. And like even on OpenSea, now you can verify your contract, you can verify your account. So those are really helpful. Almost all the 400 projects that I worked with, they've had other people on OpenSea create a similar project and then take people money just saying it's theirs, right? So for example, let's say if it's some sort of ape, like there's going to be another one, they change the name slightly and then they have like similar size of collection and then they start selling. And it's not it's like a fake version of it, right? So like things like that, it's just like verification is going to be very important. And so that's as far as the verification side of things. As far as legality, that's also very important. Like, for example, I don't think, like it's different obviously in different countries, but like in the US, you can't crowdfund more than like, I believe $5 million in a year. So like if you want to just like, that. Yeah. And like there's certain things, or like, for example, SEC is not a big fan if you're going to like give your holders money back. Like that's actually against their rules. And so I've had projects in my program where they find out about this, or like they can't do lottery. Like if they're based out of US, you can be, you can like have your business other countries, but like, and that's not, by the way, legal advice. But like, they could, right? So, but then it's important because if let's say you make all that money, right? You make a bunch of $1 million and then they take it, it's kind of like annoying, right? So like, you just got to know all these like rules and regulations that's like relevant. So for example, San Vegas Casino Club, like having a casino on, online, that's a big deal. It's like not everyone can do it. So they're not based out of US. And so that helps tremendously. And if someone goes to soldoutnfts.io, just read the case studies I have on them. They see that all their accounts, I've written it as SVC instead of San Vegas Casino Club. Because if I say the word casino, social media platforms, they would just take it down immediately. Right. You can't have casinos. Wow. And so like, or you would have to have like a approval from SEC, approval, a license from the fin something. I can't remember now. There's there's a bunch of organizations you need to have licenses from, and like even let's say cryptocurrency or tokens, you need like SEC approvals. So there's a lot of like legality and politics actually right now that's happening, but like a lot of people don't know about these things. I mean, here's another example. Yeah, one of brands I advised, they got sued by MGM, literally like last week.
What?
And because they had a character. Yeah, because they had a character that's like very similar to this character that we would all seen, movies and cartoons. So, and then so MGM just like sent a letter. They took down everything they had. So those are important things too.
Man, some of my guys over here, they're thinking, man, I could make a killing. This is gonna be like easy money and stuff. Man, I can't wait to like share this video out, because like a lot of folks, trust me, bro, you have no idea. A lot of people have misconceptions. I have misconceptions about it. Like with crypto projects, like I am scared to get projects from the United States. Just dealing with SEC, all these alphabet agencies you gotta deal with. Like, we are planning to get into the United States, but not at this time. It's just way too complicated. So like, it's a lot of headache. And and also talking about just say the word casino, or you need like, some sort of regulation, or you got to hit all this multiple steps. I mean, I'd never imagine NFTs can get this complicated. I mean, but then again, it makes sense, right? Because there are millions of dollars on the line. So,
but that's the thing. It's like, but I think that's like one of the messages that I want to get across. It's just because, yes, you can make a lot of money, but it does take work. Like, it's not like flip a switch. There are people, okay, it's like, so I also get like, offers like this, like literally yesterday. Like someone was like, "Hey, if we just bring you on your project on our project and we give you this much money, we just want you to like use your connection and then just tell everyone, so like promote us so we sell out." I'm like, what do you think I do? Like, you think like I just have like these people just waiting for me to tell them about your project, and then like I just tell them and they just all like rush in to buy your NFT? Like that's and I think some people do claim things like that. Like, and if I wanted to, I literally told my really good friend of mine past few days, like I'm like, it's probably been at least like 200K a month that I just leave on the table of like weird offers that I get on a daily basis. People telling me to do things because they have a conception of like I can do certain things that's just like not something I can do, right? So like, for example, they think like my connections, like I have these like really crazy connections that no one has, and then if I just tell them, like there are all these like whales, for example, just waiting to hear about a project from me, like. Or like there's certain things, and I think it's just the reason I get these offers is just because some people claiming those things out there, and then you know, and like influencers maybe like they like, hey, like pay us like, I don't know, pay us like 100K, we'll just like your projects will be sell out, and then like you make like $10 million and blah blah. And it's like, really, like you can do that? Like how? Like that's not a thing. And so I think I 100% like I leave so much money on the table just because like there are all sorts of offers like this where I'm like, that's not something I can do. Like that's not a real thing. Or I don't feel comfortable. Like they would just be like, hey, just go on like every place and just like talk about our project when I don't even know like if they're gonna be legit, or if I'm like also thinking they're not gonna be legit, even worse. And so there's a lot of that, but at the same time, I say, even though it takes work, even though it takes determination, it takes having a good team and resources. There's nothing I found, like, you know, I got a property a few days ago. Like, I'm in real estate. Like I'm trading in NFTs. I have crypto myself. There's nothing I've seen, and I worked with a lot of public companies. You know, they acquired each other, and like they would make millions of dollars themselves, right? But like, I've never seen an opportunity like this where you can in like 4 or 6 weeks you can make so much money. But that also means that you gotta work. Like, you know, you gotta work your ass off. Like it's not a flipping a switch, or there's not like a shortcut. There's no one out there that's just like, if you just have that person. And I mean, I'm flattered some people think that way, but if they just have me and it's like done, like it's not, there's no such a thing. There's actually they gotta do the work. They still need a community manager. They still need like like there's like literally a AAA Hollywood legend. I did his consulting for his NFT, and like you guys watched his movies and everything. And he still he has like millions of followers. Everyone watched his movies. Like in my childhood, I watched it. I still remember his lines, right? And like he still has to do all of those things. And then for someone who's never done anything, they're like no one on the internet, to think like, I'll just sit and like, you know, someone else just like, maybe I pay them something and it's like, just like that, like I'll make like $5 million. It's crazy. You know, like, I think was like Donald Trump's wife, Melanie. Like she did an NFT project. Yeah. She didn't. I don't think she was successful with her project. And like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like it's not like everyone can go in and do it. But at the same time, I think timing is the perfect time. I think if you have the resources, like I think right now is the best time to do this before it's even more crowded, before it gets even more complicated, more regulations. Like just like back in October last year when there was no regulation on Twitter, we just ran ads directly to OpenSea. We sold out. You can't do that ever again. There's going to be new regulations adding into all these social media platforms every day. So the sooner someone gets in, the actually simpler it is for them. But yeah, it does take work.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought up Melania Trump. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
remember, yeah, that there was I definitely remember very well. Like, yeah, she also got into the NFT thing like a couple of months ago and stuff. But obviously, I haven't heard much about it. So, I mean, and you're right. I mean, like a lot of NFT projects have failed, even though they got big names and stuff. But again, I think it is a team sport, right? NFTs. It's not like, hey, you got Arvin. Okay, we all good, baby. This is like, wait a minute. There's
Yeah.
a whole there's you need capital. Capital is what
Yeah.
helps feed the mouths and stuff, feed the ads and all. You also need some creative people. You need an original idea or something, I guess. And what else? And also good tech, right? I mean. Uh, I think that's also something. I guess a lot of people also kind of mess it up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All projects I worked with, they got hacked, like all of them. Um, and
Damn.
and it's like at some point, like, and so does that happen to all of them, and then also all of their website crashed too. And so for new projects that obviously I'm telling them, right? So like right off the bat, I'm like, so for example, one new project is Wall Street Fam. And I told them, I was like, hey, this is the case. So they have a really good team. They've got like amazing designer and everything too. But like they performed a DDoS on their website for like something like 50 million visits or something crazy like that. And
Yeah.
then their website, so then they know their website is not going to crash because that could
Oh,
bomb a
gotcha.
project alone. For example, Woman of Crypto, we had 1 million visits to the website in a second, and then website crashed. And so it's definitely like a thing. So people, so you're saying like you need to have good tech, like it's very important, and it's just so easy to prevent too. Like I don't know how it still happens. Like everyone knows that. Everyone knows that you need to have like the highest bandwidth so you don't your website doesn't crash. But I still see like brands, their website crashes on the day. It's like, come on, guys, like it's just like old. Like
Okay.
you can prevent that, you know?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. No. That's I always was kind of curious about the tech side because I did see a couple of websites they go down too. So because I'm in I work with a crypto exchange, so our tech has to be really good. Like it has to be, excuse my language, it's my show anyway. You need some good fucking tech, like because if you get hacked, I mean it's bad image, already. So. I mean, there's a lot involved. So with NFTs and regulations are coming in,
Yeah.
more competitions coming in. So you do need good tech because I think if website crashes, I'm sure like that scares a lot of future investors to come in, right? So I think I think brand imagery makes a lot of sense, right? In the NFT space.
Yeah. If it was like last year, fine. Like, but now, like, it has happened so many times. I mean, even I personally seen it so many times where it's like, no excuses, guys. Like, your website should have crashed. Like, there's zero excuse. Just
All
just
right.
prevent that. You know?
Sure. Yeah. But anyways, hey, I think, man, I wish we can continue. I know this, I thought, NFT is like quite a simple subject, but you really enlightened me. I mean, we could go on and on. But for any future founders, any future artists, who want to start their NFT project, and you know what, they want to go with the best. Most likely that's because you got a track record. So how can they reach you?
Perfect. Yeah. So on Twitter, Arvin K NFT. So that's ARVIN KNFT. And actually on all socials is Arvin K NFT, but on Twitter, that's the best place to find me. And
Okay.
then my website and website for my program as well is soldoutnfts.io. So for people who want to sell out their NFTs, it's soldoutnfts.io.
Awesome. All right. Hey, oh, sure. So definitely I will share the links below. So anyways, Arvin, hey, thank you for your time. Thank you for educating me, especially. So who knows? Maybe one day I might try to create my own NFT. Who knows? We'll see how that goes. But anyways, hey, Arvin, thank you for your time, and hey, definitely looking forward to see some future projects coming up. So, in your website, soldnfts.io, would you be also showcasing your upcoming projects that you'll be working on, or
upcoming projects? Not so much. Two right now. Well, actually, this bunch, but like two specifically that I'm just like really involved with is Wall Street Fam and Tribex. Both of them are trying to make it simple for people to get into the NFT world. And so they provide great information. So Tribex is more like their focus is like the minorities who want to get into Web3, and then Wall Street Fam is for busy professionals who want to get into Web3. They have so they have like a busy mom version, the busy dad version, and then because of the busy moms, they created this product called a vibrator. And then they
love it, yeah.
So basically the vibrator, like what it does is just like allows people to figure out the rarity of projects. So then, because it's like sometimes it's hard to just like know, like go one by one check, but like it literally just like puts it on a graph, like which are the ones that are like below the like a specific price, which are like above the, let's say, floor price, right? And then based on the rarity, like for example, the vibe of the like so there obviously there's certain traits like a skin color, blah blah blah, but like they have some added ones like the vibe, and then the weight of the specific traits. So like for example, does the skin color or like the background weighs more than other ones, right? And then so they're trying to make it really helpful for busy people to get into NFTs and profit without having to I don't know, spend like arm and leg on consultants or like programs and different things. So just they're trying to make it accessible.
Wow. Okay. No, this is really good stuff, man. This is good stuff. Yeah. Oh wow. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, hey, thank you for the info. They definitely would share some of the stuff, and hey, I also hope to maybe have you again in the CryptoCosm maybe after a month or so, because right now this month in Dubai we got so many blockchain events, NFT stuff going on. So hopefully I would love to report to you and maybe share my insights, and maybe you could tell me, hey, this is great and this is bullshit. So hey, would love love that education, man.
I'm actually in October. I'm actually coming to Dubai. I'm actually looking to live like half a year in Dubai, half in Vancouver, Canada. I've been to Dubai a lot actually before. I love it. I love it over there. So yeah. So if there were like events, we could do like IRL meetups. But
hell yeah. No, because if you come to Dubai, so this is obviously like I'm biased to Dubai because I'm here and stuff, I live here and stuff. But like a lot of amazing stuff is happening over here, like enterprise blockchain, new blockchain systems are coming in. Even NFT stuff, a lot of great artists are coming in. So this is a great place to be. So hey, 6 months I think is, and that also you're smart enough to come on in October. That's the best time. Right now the weather is freaking hot. So save yourself. Like enjoy the cool Vancouver weather.
Exactly.
Anyway, all right, people. We gotta go. Y'all be good. Y'all be safe. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Adios.